I upset the internet when I answered a question on a whim that was, how much of a house payment can I afford with the salary of $100,000? So if I sat here and went through every little detail with you guys, you would lose interest in like 5 seconds. So I gave a quick answer, mainly focused on what people can qualify for. So when it comes to qualifications versus what you can afford are two different things. So I tell people, determine what payment you're comfortable with, what you can afford. We do a budget worksheet, and then we say, here's what you can qualify for. Here's where you're comfortable with your payment. This is where you should be looking. Obviously, you don't just max everything out. So I would hope that people would have enough common sense to know what mortgage payment they can actually afford versus getting into the max that they can qualify for. So federal guidelines on a conventional loan will allow you to have a mortgage payment for up to 50% of your gross income. I know this sounds crazy, and no, I don't advise that. I advise that you start at about 1/4 of your income, and then we can discuss the details. Here's the caveat. This particular person asked about their salary being $100,000. I didn't go into detail about bonus income, overtime income, dividend income, stock income, all the other income that can be involved. So there's a lot of income that we can't actually count. So someone on paper could easily make, say, $300,000, but the guidelines only allow us to count about $100,000 of that. Therefore, their payment comfortability is going to be higher. So sometimes when the qualifying number versus affordability number, they're going to be different, but that's a discussion that I will have with all my clients to make sure that they are comfortable, so not putting them in a bad situation. I don't want any of my clients to be house poor, and I definitely don't want a foreclosure on my record. I've yet to have one. I've had a few clients that have had a short sell due to divorce and things like that, but I haven't had someone yet foreclose due to not being able to afford the payment. So payment comfortability versus qualifying, two different things. And if you want to go into more detail with that, we will. But when it comes time to get pre-approved, I'm not just shooting from the hip and saying, you can buy $1 million house because you make $100,000. No, we get way more nitty gritty than that. And we have to be more detailed than that. So again, people, use your common sense.